And interestingly, of course, the games last night were on Amazon. I was watching on Amazon Prime, and although my stream went down, I had to then watch all the goals going in rather than games I wanted to watch specifically. What do you think that means? You know, the fact that Amazon won't be involved now, Sky have really taken that stronghold, a bit of TNT Sports here or there. Do you think actually, in essence, Sky is going to become the dominating broadcaster for, I would say, the next 10 to 20 years? Wayne, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sky has always been associated with the Premier League since its inception in 1992, and that's hugely important to the whole Sky product in terms of their subscriptions and selling satellite dishes and all their associated products. I think that's absolutely vital for them, and to maintain that link with the Premier League. They've got, I think, 4 of the 5 packages, and then TNT Sports have got the other one. Amazon weren't interested, and Apple weren't interested, and DAZN weren't interested either. So it is very much going to be a Sky-led product. So, you know, they'll have to patch up that relationship with Man United, won't they, among other things. But I think it's a good deal for them. If you look at the amount they're paying for per match has gone down. And also they've got all the Sunday matches are going to be, the Sunday 2 p.m.s are all going to be live in the future as well. So I think it's actually a strong deal for Sky, but also a brilliant deal for the players. You can see a situation in the next 2 or 3 years where we're going to have £500,000 a week footballers, £1 million a week footballers, Premier League footballers eventually as well. If you include their endorsements and their sponsorships, you've already got players earning £350,000, £400,000 a week. Erling Haaland, Mo Salah, throw on the sponsorships on top, and then you can play in the Premier League and earn £1 million a week, which is extraordinary. And you know, I'd expect that very much to grow and for players to be able to earn even more in the future.
And Paul, will that be an incentive for players in leagues abroad, actually, looking at this deal and the value of it? If you were playing, say, in Liga or Serie A and you see this deal is coming into place, would you actually be pushing then for a move potentially to the Premier League?
You've got to prove that you're good enough first. It just strengthens the product that we've got. I mean, yes, players will want to come to the Premier League. Players do want to come to the Premier League. But the financial incentive is always going to be there. Anybody who told you they've moved to the Saudi Pro League for the quality of football and want to move and play into a better league is lying. It's financially beneficial. Certain players have different gods, if you like, as to whether it's financial, whether it's trophies, whether it's personal ambition, whatever drives you. The underlying current a lot in football is financial. And when we've got the strongest products in the world and we've got the ability to back that up and bring the strongest players in the world, look, to have the revenue that the Saudi Pro League have got is incredible. But to have something similar and being able to match that in the Premier League and to have the attraction and the draw of the players to bring them to the Premier League, not just with the product, but financially as well, it makes the whole product stronger.
Wayne, we know going forwards as well that the collective selling TV rights deal after this current agreement is going to be joined together with the Premier League and the EFL. But how concerned are you for the EFL? I mean, I saw Millwall Community Trust Vice Chairman Peter Varney comment and say some of this increase in cash must reach EFL clubs, because it looks like the overseas rights deal plus this deal that's in place is going to be worth about £10 billion plus. I
mean, the big issue, I think, is the cartel, the elite Premier League clubs. They're all doing amazingly well out of it, and most of them are foreign owned, and a lot of them owned by sort of American investment firms. Whereas the sort of community clubs lower down the pyramid, they're not getting enough of a share of the hand. I think that's the one massive thing that has to change, because they are very much interlinked with their communities. They don't have this massive foreign ownership, and I think they need much bigger handouts. I think Paul's got a really strong association with Leeds, and Leeds, you know, you've seen, obviously you've had that couple of years in the Premier League where you've done amazingly well. Now you've gone back down to the Championship. You've got also American ownership, but hugely reliant upon getting back in the Premier League, Paul, aren't you? I mean, if you don't get back in the Premier League this season, it becomes a huge financial issue, doesn't it, for Leeds?
Well, we spoke about it earlier on in this program, didn't we? You look at the amount of the amount of ex-Premier League teams that are stuck in the Championship and have been for a long, long time. You get your 3 years parachute payment. If you don't get back up in the first 2 years, you're struggling. And we look at club ownerships that could potentially be changing hands. Club owners struggle if it's not financed in the right way, if you don't own your stadium. And it becomes a real financial burden because the gap is that big. And the reward to get into the Premier League is huge. But also on the flip side of that, the punishment for falling out of the Premier League after 2 seasons could really hurt football clubs. And you look in that Championship, honestly, take time to look at that table. There is 10 to 12 clubs in there that you wouldn't think would be out of place in the Premier League and haven't been in recent years.
Absolutely. I mean, the last point I think that's really worth touching on is, with all the extra matches being shown, it's all very exciting. And I think fans certainly feel they are being, appreciated and looked after by Sky. But do you think this will mean then that Sky will hike the prices up? And actually, in the cost of living crisis with everything going on, is that unfair? Because it already feels, with so many different streaming platforms that you have to invest in, it is difficult to afford it, let alone potentially the cost of this going up as well.
I think one of the issues that lots of football fans have is they've got to fork out for a Sky subscription, and if you want to watch the Saturday midday fixture, they've got to get a TNT Sports subscription, and also those European matches are on TNT Sports, and I think they've still got those. And they were also having to have an Amazon Prime subscription to watch those games that just took place last night in this midweek. That they won't have that to watch, need that for football in the future. But I think the cost of those are huge. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't even know what my subscriptions are. I guess they would be £200 a month, wasn't they? Plus for Sky and TNT, and a lot of. I mean, I don't just watch football, but a lot of football fans just do, and that's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it, to keep paying? And that only tends to go up. It's not going to go down. And for that, you need lots of matches, and that's why they've negotiated these Sunday 2 p.m s. But I'd expect those subscriptions lists to keep going up in the future, no doubt about that.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.